Oh, finally we're live.
Here we go. Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to another special edition of the Hockey Nation live show. This is your host, Cold Frenchies, directly from the booth. And we have to go to now, stop in Texas to find our co-host, Michael DeVillano.
How's it going, Pierre? We had a
Pretty
crazy
good.
night.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back to another great edition of the Hockey Nation live show. We have a busy day again. I have a lot of game yesterday, a lot of OT. And
Shootouts, OT.
yeah, they have a lot in that, during the middle of the night, you thought all the sort of shocking team was going to win. And then finally, they all lost in OT. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was some stuff that was logical, but man, there was a couple interesting games for sure.
yeah. So before we start, I want to mention to you the big news happening with the ESPN, the 7-year contract with NHL on the stream. So it's just not on the TV national. So it's very important to understand that. So it's a stream with Disney Channel. So Disney Channel have a new concept to promote, to get streaming, and I think it's great. I think it's amazing. The last game in ESPN was 2004, before the lockout, everything like that, and I think that would be great to have a partnership. Now, that's not make sense. Says like they cannot have an offer for the TV national copyright also. So they have 3 right now: NBC, Fox, and ESPN. Submit a copyright. So it's very important about to understand it's a half or half of the deal of the, so we don't have no money, no disclosure about the contract, everything like that. It's not confirmed by NHL. It was all bring by Sportnet yesterday. And I think that's great. I think it's great to have maybe NBC stay with the NHL. You're going to create 2 different area, build hockey. I think that's I was watching someone yesterday. I think it was Ilya Friedman talk about it would be great in Canada. You have both, Sportnet and TSN promote hockey a little bit. What in Quebec in Quebec does the same thing. The RDS promote Montreal Canadian, example like Sunday to Friday, and then the Saturday game is all TVA sport. So I think that would be great in Canada. We have that kind of stuff like Sportnet and the TSN, and then USA. I think that's great to have ESPN have a back in the with NHL.
I mean, ESPN's a struggling entity, but they're backed by obviously Disney. We've seen aggressive moves by Disney through their Disney Plus to try to bundle ESPN Plus, and specifically around UFC fights. So this is interesting. The primary property where we should be able to see streaming content is not NBC Sportsnet online, and it's not ESPN. It should be NHL.com. However, so I question whether this stuff gets highlighted and actually grows the audience. I think in the end, the TV audience is what they got to shoot for, but I think it's positive. But I think as a user of NHL.com and someone that gives my money to NHL.com, why do I now have to go pay ESPN for streaming? Because they're going to be blacking out games.
Well, it's a little bit like it's a part like I'm a part of the ESPN package deal. They have like $5.99 per month about everything, right? So ESPN Plus is part of this deal. Now I can watch hockey.
That's my point. Like I'm paying NHL.com for all the streams allegedly, and now they're going to start carving it out. And the biggest problem with NHL.com is that there's games that I get blacked out on, and there's games that force me to go over to NBC Sportsnet app, which was terrible. So if this is replacing that app, it may or may not be an improvement. And I just don't understand. I mean, it's a money thing for them. As a fan, it's terrible. I mean, does this grow the game? Probably, I don't think so, but
for me, yes, because now you're going to have NBC one spot and ESPN another spot, and then you have NHL. So one night I can have all those.
It's all over the map.
Different place I can watching all those games.
It's all over.
But the good news for me is like if they black out, I'm lucky. I live in South Florida, so I don't have a lot of black. But if you live in where you at in California,
it's crazy.
now you have a blackout, this team, this team, this team.
Yeah,
Now
because
you
then
can
you got
open up.
Fox.
You
Yeah,
can open up because now you can switching to another location, everything like that. So
it's so crazy.
um,
So now I have to, like, I can't watch LA Kings games locally unless I get a cable subscription, and that lines up to Fox Sports. Like, this
yeah,
whole thing is a mess. And
yeah,
you're
that's what
blacking
I
me
have
out
the
when you're not
Panthers. The only thing I can see the Panthers is when I'm watching the Fox Sport and TV.
Wow. I mean, this is just crazy. So those are the local broadcast rights, but then they black out the NHL.com that I'm paying for.
Now, the thing about blackout, I think that season of 56 game with the situation with COVID, not many people in the stand, everything like that, I think they should not black out anything. They should let it go for this year because you cannot go to the game anyway. So it's not
Oh,
changed anything.
it's
You know what
not
I
going
mean?
to force me to go to the game, that's for sure. Like,
So it should be also 28 of the 31 teams going to be access to go to the game now at the end of the month. So that's another great news about NHL. The fans, to see the fans on the stand is great. When you watch the game last night, so it's a lot of good stuff over there. It was great to see that, and I think that's good stuff for that part over there.
that part's for sure.
It's confirmed the NHL draft is going to be July 23rd, 24th, or 22nd, 23rd. That's confirmed. And the only rule is confirmed is the only two pick now. You can win two spot, 1 and 2, and not anymore like, it was 1, 2, and 3 anymore. So it's only two spot you can win, and you cannot the next year, not this year, next year, you cannot move more at 10 spot at the end. And then the following year also, you cannot win 2 times the 2 spot 1 and 2 for more at 2 during 5 years. It's started this year. So what happened in last year, the year prior, everything like that does not count. So it start this year. If you win, example, I don't know, the Rangers win the spot number 1, but you have only one more chance for the next 5 years to be in the 1 and 2. So as I know, that's confirmed by NHL for that one over there for NHL draft. So it's going to be this summer. The problem to move everything back for the NHL draft, it was because the agreement between players for NHLPA, between that, I think there will be a lot of problem, everything. So would be very interesting about that. That changed a couple of things first, like, maybe, I don't think so. You're going to get a lot of draft pick 2021 on exchange for a players versus they will say push me to 2022 or 2023. Does that make sense?
So because it's only so many rounds?
Well, that's my point. Is like, if you you send Jaie Benn to Montreal. Montreal said, I will send you a draft pick. Vancouver said, I don't want the draft pick this year. I want the next following year because it's too hard to pick a player. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. I mean, we haven't seen players a ton, right?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting about that. The second thing will be interesting is also the how many trade is going happening for the next one. The one rumor this morning happening is, and I don't know if you will do it. Edmonton trade Bear to Boston, and in return they get Jake DeBrusk.
Why would you trade Ethan Bear? I mean, listen, DeBrusk is good. DeBrusk gives them the second line. So they must feel that Evan Bouchard replaces Ethan Bear and that Ethan Bear is not going to get better or is a willing sacrifice. But they already have a problem with Oscar Klefbom out.
No, Bear don't have a great year this year. He struggled a lot.
But he's young.
2 times he got an LT scratch. So
he's a good pros player. I mean, he's just 23 or something, isn't
he? Yeah, but do you use him or you sacrifice Bouchard?
Never. You would not trade Bouchard. Bouchard is already, in my opinion, a top 4 capable defenseman, and he's going to have so much. He'll be the top offensive defenseman on that team.
I think at that moment,
Nurse is having a great year.
I'm sorry?
Next to Darnell Nurse, but I think that Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse will probably I mean, Darnell Nurse is.
Well, I think if you have Barry there next year, example, they have
Do
Bouchard.
they?
What?
Will they have Barry?
Why not?
He's only a 1-year contract for $3 million, but
I think he will. I think he will make the team better. Like they need him on the offensive power play, everything like that. But the point,
I
like
don't
you get
disagree. I
Nurse,
just
you get
don't
Bouchard,
know.
you get Barry, again the guy is on injury list. Bloom,
Yeah.
right? And then you have Cook,
Injured, yeah. And then you have
and then you have Larson,
Caleb Jones.
and then you have Russell.
Chris Russell, I don't see being around much longer, but yeah.
Oh, that's 7th defenseman right there, and I didn't mention Bear right now. So Bear, you can get Jake DeBrusk for Bear.
It's not bad, I guess. I think the 7 defensemen, I'm not sure it's enough anymore.
No, but you know what I mean. Like if you think about that, you potential to get a 20 goal over there with DeBrusk.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on this year, but he has a potential scoring 20 goal with the player they have in the forward. I think it's a good trait.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
You know what I mean? I don't say that what happened. It's just the rumor. So
yeah, I'm trying to debate in my head if I would do it or not, but I think because you've already got Clefbaum out, you've already Chris Russell, I guess, is in. Is he hurt? And then Cuckoo's definitely hurt, right?
Yeah.
And then they do have Caleb Jones. I don't know if you mentioned him, and he's a pretty good prospect. So maybe they say Caleb and Ethan are kind of even because they've always been similar.
The another goaltender they're looking is Elvis Merzlikins for the Columbus go to Edmonton.
For like, who would he replace? Koskinen?
They don't mention name. They were just like they was targeting players. So I think it's good for Edmonton. You get him.
I forget those 2 goalies. Is Korpisello struggling this year, or is Merzlikins?
No, he's like an amazing game last night.
Yeah, so Merzlikins has been struggling, right?
Again, is the problem he got. He got hurt twice this year.
Right.
So
okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I haven't kept track of them.
Talking about Edmonton, Kyle Turris, because you talked about him yesterday, got a COVID-19 protocol list today.
Oh my God, he was just playing so well.
But again, sometimes it's like you can be there for 1 day, 2 days, 2 days, right? So they have like caution for COVID-19 or something like that. So you have a name for 1 to couple of days. So he is on this list, and then Fabro for the Nashville is on the airing NHL today after his elbow on the head of Brock McGinn last night against Carolina. So it will be interesting to see that. A lot of injury yesterday and a lot of milestones, so I can start with that part. Roman Ozzy is out for at least weeks to week. That's a big blow for the Nashville, losing their captain. I think he's one of the great defensemen whatsoever. Have a -12 this year. I think it's not helping them to get him out. Jack Eichel is on the day today, but it could be for weeks and weeks, and got hit in the neck, and they don't mention anything else about his timeline about his injury. So I would not be surprised from Ilya Friedman herself this morning, possible can miss the rest of the year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there'll be another one over there for Buffalo. Then you talk about him yesterday morning. The Phoenix Coyotes lost their goaltender, Darcy Kuemper.
That's terrible.
For a couple of weeks, at least 3 to 4. So that's another one there.
Did they say it was a groin, or what was it?
I think you're right. I cannot recall it. And
Kinda
then
looked like it might be a groin. I can never spell his name. Is it K?
yeah, Jake Gardiner is a lower back problem, so he did not play yesterday. Is another one over there. And then Manson and Terry and Anaheim did not play yesterday. They are questionable again for tonight. So that's
that
another.
Really hurts Anaheim not having Josh Manson.
Yeah, that's another what's already won yesterday's, but that's another one. Can hurt for sure. And Elias Peterson is confirmed for another week without him in the lineup for the Vancouver Canucks. And then the Pittsburgh, I'm laughing because I will tell the story, but I'm doing a video every night, like daily show like this, like but for the resume of the day, and then the Pittsburgh hiring a woman, and I cannot say her last name.
What? She can't say her last name? Oh, okay.
It's Japanese, like Katrina W. So Wu. So no
Tina Wu, is that?
W. So she's in
Wu, Pittsburgh Penguins?
yeah, she's in charge now, the director chief of the analytic team over there. So she got hired yesterday. So that's another
Katarina
great,
Wu. Okay. As a data scientist. That's
yeah. So that's a great open another job for women. And during the weeks of the international, Women Day, that's great to see that Pittsburgh to do that. So so and then you have a lot of milestone happening yesterday. Of course, the biggest one is Patrick Kane, 1,000 game. Just a few days after Keith Yandel, he became the 353 players in the NHL history to get that milestone at 1,000, and it was really amazing to see that. So
I don't know if you saw that Jamie Benn got his 700th point last night.
Yeah, so Jaie Benn got his 700 point yesterday, and also
not Jordy.
No, yeah, of course.
One guy he gets 700 points ever.
And then
Roslovic, Jordy Benn.
Roslovic play his 200 game in NHL, and finally Roslovic from Columbus.
Oh, okay.
Jack
Jack Roslovic or whatever.
Yeah, and finally Barry Trotz become the third coach to go game with 1,700 game NHL behind the bench. He is just behind Joel Canville and Scotty Bowman.
Wow.
Yeah. So
well, I mean,
pretty amazing.
I think he's, we saw again last night. I mean, that team is something to be contended with. I mean, they've never had this type of success. He's like the sixth player on the ice for them. I mean, he's such a factor.
You can compare him at Bill Belichick, right?
Some ways. You just got to get him a cup.
But for me, he looked like more the guy like Andy Reid.
It's kind of crazy, though, because for 1,700 games, and he hasn't won a cup, has he? No, he won in Washington. I'm sorry.
He won in Washington.
Okay, so he didn't get a cup. I apologize. I was like, wait, no, he won.
But what I mean, like he'd been to Nashville for 14 years.
That was probably
before he go to Washington, I believe 2 years or 3 years, and then now he's with Islanders for at least 3 years now. But it's a great milestone. 1,700. Not many coach in NHL, and
no, it's amazing. Great. I remember meeting him at the Roger Nielsen coaching clinic, which is a pretty famous coaching clinic for people that don't know in Windsor. Roger Nielsen was amazing at, he had passed away at that point. I think it was like a year before that he passed away, but I met Barry, and he's like very, very knowledgeable, he's a very, how do I say it? Stoic communicator sometimes and kind of gruff, but you respect the guy. I mean, he's like all work, and he prepares, and he's thinking things through, and very, very knowledgeable, and a good person to hang around. I could see where he's lasted so long and had so much success.
But first of all, he's really humble, right? That's the first thing. You have compassion. The second thing, thirdly, he's a family, have a autistic kid. So for the family to have a kid like autistic and disability, everything like that, it's all about the people, right? So for them, it's very important, the family. If you go, if some, I don't know, when I watched the video about that family and Barry Trotz, everything like that, I think last year, but I think, they're a bit like what, it remind me a lot of Bruce Boudreau, to be honest with you. It was all about the family, everything like that, and not the same success like Boudreau, but, the people where they don't have a different career in life, everything like that. So that's pretty amazing to say that. And then finally, before we move on for the game last night, they have a nice article about John Cooper from the Tampa Bay Lightning, where he was a lawyer before that. Like he was
Right,
not in
right.
hockey, everything like that. So we have a great story about how he became a coach, everything like that. So
Yeah,
you
the
know,
USHL.
yeah. So many coach in NHL go to his friend Pat and like anybody else, right? Pat Burns like a policeman, and it's fun people like him, become successful behind the bench because they learn some other things from other area in their life, and then they apply this in sport, and that's what make them spatially different. So then finally, talking about coach, and I'm confirmed they go all the way with Dallas Eagles, so it's job security for the year. And the San Jose, they will not go anything with Bob Bonner. He just signed a new contract at the beginning of the year, so we don't expect that. And from someone, I don't know, it's Chris Johnson, but or Frank Cervalini, whatever his last name. Should Kroger finish the year with Buffalo?
What the hell? Why is this like a decision? They lose again last night. I mean, I don't dislike Ralph Kruger. Like, he's been again a really good person and coach in different circumstances, but I mean, the writing's on the wall here. Something's got to change. And I get not having Eichel, but you can't have so many star players in single digits, Pierre, at this point. Like, there's something wrong. And mistakes like that.
Funny ways over there you can talk about this, but at the end of the day, I think overall it's a
Why
team.
are they tanking? They made all these moves, Pierre, to be competitive.
They missed a big piece, is the goaltender.
Well, obviously, and we guessed that, of all the teams that we thought would tank because of that. I like Linus Ullmark, but it's not enough. They need another guy. Carter Hutton is not the guy, and Linus is injured. So now you're.
But again, if you check about the lineup forward,
They have a good lineup.
I'm not sure.
Well, I feel very confident that a different coach in there would do pretty good things with that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they make some decision why the player don't perform. Like, like Thompson don't go nowhere. Tage Thompson is like don't do anything over there. At one point, I think this year. So there was expecting him a high level quality player over there. Did not work. But they have a couple of great players. Like Taylor Hall.
I don't understand why we're defending Ralph Kruger. He has not performed. Like, this is, if you throw a better coach in there or a different coach, that team is not that bad. You've got breakout players like Olofsson. Reinhardt's having a phenomenal year. There's no reason Eichel and Hall should not be producing something, not zero, something.
But they have some problem there, right? Like Olofsson don't score 5 versus 5.
Right. Look at
and
how
he's minus 13. You know what I mean? Like he's minus 13. So you have a lot of players there. They have minus 12, 13, 14.
I see zero. I see zero reason why they should continue to do this. But I mean, they've already dug their hole. I don't know if it changes much. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's because that would change what?
Well, now they've because of inaction, they're in the hole. They're done.
Okay, but why who do you get a coach right now for what would be the purpose behind to hire someone right now?
This is the only team where we're saying that. Even Montreal moved out a world-class coach in Claude Julien. I'd rather have Claude Julien in there, and I bet you he would do a hell of a lot better.
But Montreal, if he was 8, why to change Claude Julien? Now this thing not going nowhere. Not going to you're not change whatever you put like the best goal.
Yeah, I don't get it. It makes no sense. Your argument for him is like illogical.
For me,
he should have been moved already.
That's the point. They should this after 10, 12 game, and then it does not work. Now leave with him until the end of the year, then put someone else over there. But right now at 23, 24 game, no chance to make the playoff anyway. You're going to
crazy
blame another coach there for the rest of the year, not change. You have no time to. I think for me, it would not fair for the new coach. Put Gerald Gallant there. Nothing would change with Gerald Gallant there.
Well, they could in the last 30 games go, 15, 12 and something and retain a Taylor Hall.
Well, it's not because you're 15, 12 or something. It is because piece, the problem there is still
What you're saying
behind,
makes no sense to me. I don't
behind
agree with that. All right, so the Rangers. Who else lost besides Buffalo? Because Buffalo lost again and got a lousy point.
Buffalo
Brian-
was it's not very hard. They have a good game at the beginning of the year. I think it was 2-3-1.
Still lost.
And then Philadelphia come back with 3 goals, and then they went to overtime. And then I think Shane Couturier scored the OT to make that team 5-4. So, like I said, it's only at 1 point Buffalo, but again, without
They're
you know what I mean. But Philadelphia is a little bit strange for me to play again a Buffalo team. They have a really difficult time. I don't know what's going on with Buffalo, but another game they gave 4 goals. Again, a team does not go nowhere, and it's only the second win the last 6 games. So very questionable about Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, Philly's not hitting their stride either. At least they squeaked out the points, I guess, but still, I don't feel like they're firing on all cylinders. Nolan Patrick scores in the shootout, which is good. Sam Reinhart had a good game again. Like, Sam Reinhart's got 12 goals on the year, so he's like the only guy performing over there aside from, well, it's him and Olofsson. Like, Victor Olofsson's real good, but you can't have just 2 guys. Where's Skinner again? Stahl. Anyways, it is what it is. Buffalo just set that thing on fire now. Rangers and Penguins. I don't know if you watched this game.
Yeah, it was at 6:00 p.m. And again, Pittsburgh I don't know what's going on with Pittsburgh. They find a way to score like a back-to-back goal quickly the last few games. Like,
But did you see why? Did you watch Jack Johnson gets his first goal of the year, right?
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to do Jack Johnson things. So he's left out on the power play. And he steps out, everybody swings, and Jack Johnson goes up the middle. He's got a pass option here, a pass option here, a pass. And what does he do? He puts it into the feet of 72, which is Philip Chytil. And who's right in front of Philip Chytil is Sidney Crosby in the 1-2-1. So you've gone to the only place where there's pressure, and Chytil doesn't even know he's getting it. Has to turn back, turnover, pass from Crosby to Gunsel, goal. 0 gap control by Johnson. And then everything fell apart after that. It went from 2-1, and it was the end of it.
Yeah, it was great. Again, Kapanen scored another goal. He's 7 this year. You have a great, you know what I mean? Like 7 goals for him. On the flip side for the Rangers, Ryan Strome scored his 9 of the year. That's another player over there doing well.
He's as good as Sidney Crosby. They got the same number of goals.
So you have a good, with all the difficulty over there. And again, our buddy Buchnevich got another point yesterday.
He's a good player.
I mean, he have a good year so far.
Yeah, he looks really good when you watch him. But I mean, yesterday was definitely not pretty the way it turned around.
We can carry so.
So I didn't watch this game, but it was kind of, we were talking about this yesterday, and I think this is a good matchup for Winnipeg. We talked about it yesterday. Winnipeg's a big team. It was close, but Winnipeg comes out with the 4-3 win in Toronto. Or was it Winnipeg, actually? It might have been Winnipeg.
4-3 for Winnipeg yesterday. Is a team where they are maybe 1 behind, honestly, Winnipeg, but they're not so far away because I believe Eli Bilk is better to Anderson. But again, 2 more goals from Matthews. Got his 20 goal of the year yesterday.
That was good.
The good thing about Winnipeg, they respond every time Toronto score. They respond back. So it was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2. And then 3-2 Winnipeg. Corner score is 12-4-2. And then finally, Boston scored at the end of the game. You said since the beginning, I think you said all the time, Winnipeg is a strong team. And they showed it today, last night. Did not start very well. The beginning, the first period, they was behind. But they come back and they find a way to get that W. And that's the 3rd loss for the Maple Leaf in the last 3 games. But again, wake up a little bit from Matthews yesterday with 2 goals. He didn't score, I think, in the last 6 games or something like that.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So,
Huh. So he hasn't scored in 6 games before that.
yeah, if it's not 6 games, maybe the 6th game Toronto, he played only 3 of those games. So that's maybe I can be wrong with that one, but he didn't score for the last 3 games at least.
So it sounds like he's playing with like that wrist injury, right?
Well, yeah, that's a good point here. Very great point, to be honest with you, because they talked about this yesterday. Kiev, he can shoot, but not the way he was shooting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I saw that. So yeah, he's played 24 games and the team's played 27. It looks like so he's missed 3 games. Interesting. Well, Mason Appleton gets his 7th goal yesterday for Winnipeg. Did you know that Mason Appleton has more goals than Jeff Skinner, Jack Eichel, and Taylor Hall combined?
Yeah, but I was right, Michael. It was 6 games.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder how long that's
The last 2 goals, it was against Montreal, February 20, and then,
Wow.
Yep.
That's very not Austin Matthews like, is it? That must be a pretty serious injury for it to be affecting him.
But again, 20 goals in a 24 game.
I know, still amazing, right? Like, Jesus, he's such a good player. Boston Bruins and New York Islanders in a nail biter.
A great game. I don't know if you watched it. It was a good game. Islanders. I think Islanders have the number of the Boston. I think they are. Another great performance from Varlamov again. We cannot blame Halak. Halak did well in front of the net, but I think Islanders find a way, and then Boston struggled.
Beauvillier gets the shootout winner.
Yep.
Varlamov 32 saves.
Yep.
Good year for him.
Good.
You think Thomas Price wishes he was?
That's how they are, right? They find a way to score and they win. Like that way, and as a typical Barry Trotz way to win the game, maybe kind of that. So Pastrnak score his 11th of the year on power play, by the way.
Good. He's such a great player. Detroit, surprisingly, a very close game with Tampa. We were saying this had the potential to be a blowout, but Detroit played pretty well last night.
We have to give him, it's not about the outcome sometimes, it's just the result. And you have to give him credit because honestly, I will not be surprised 5-1. That's at least a minimum of 3 in above because, but no, they fight until to the end. It was sad they lost an OT. I watched the OT and Coleman score, but overall great performance. Larkin finally scored yesterday, so that helped a little bit, right? So, but again, Nemeth and Ernie score for the Detroit, but they fight all the way. You have to give them credit.
I realize they give Larkin the captaincy. He's just what he is. Like, he's an 18, 20 goal scorer on a good year. And he's got speed, but he doesn't have that understanding and hockey sense of the game, I feel like. And he struggles because he plays top line minutes against the top teams, and they got nothing right now as far as a top line center. I mean, they're in trouble.
Yeah. Like Zetsina, he have a good game. He didn't have no point yesterday, but he have a good game. They have February with there, and then Manta. But overall, after that, Bobby Ryan, you can mention him a little bit. But
it's crazy. Zadina gets 1 assist yesterday.
Who?
Zadina got 1 assist on the Ernie goal. Is that right?
His first goal at the beginning of the game.
He seems to be coming around a little bit, Pierre. Like, he's got the potential to be their best player. Like, he's got 4 points his last 5 games. That's what you need from him. He needs to be back in that realm. And the more if he can get on a roll scoring, I just don't know who he has to play with. That line of Rasmussen with him and Svechnikov was pretty good. Was Svech even in the lineup last night?
Who?
Svechnikov.
Yes.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah,
No,
Rasmussen and Svechnikov. Svechnikov was not in the lineup last night.
no, it was
Mestikov, yeah.
Sorry.
But if Jenny Svechnikov, again, like I don't know why, but they have two players there that can really contribute to me. Well, three. Rasmussen, who was in the lineup, only gets 13 minutes. I just don't understand it because he's big. He goes to the net. He's got nice hands around the net, and he does things well defensively. He wins faceoffs. He's a good two-way player. You played Philip Zadina 15 minutes. I don't understand what's going on over there. It doesn't make sense.
Mental played 15 minutes yesterday. Most of the player played. The only player played very high is the Larkin at 18 minutes overall.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe that was their strategy, but it was a close game. But I think, again, I go back to where's Giovanni Smith, Rasmussen, Zadina, Svechnikov. These guys need to play regularly. They shouldn't be in and out of the lineup or in the AHL. They're all capable of playing now. They're not that young. And you can see they're all physically mature. Like, they're not weak players, especially not Rasmussen and Smith. Like, they're big boys.
Yeah, but who do you take out?
Any of those old guys. There's lots of them. They're junk.
Well, I mean, now you play a game like yesterday against Tampa. You're not going to win again. Like if you have 7 rookie like Robertson and then Shevnikov and then
They
Smith.
didn't win anyway.
Yeah, but I think you cannot put like a team like that. Like it's become now like more like an EHL at some point.
What's the difference? They're last place in the NHL now.
I think for me is as a
They've been hanging on to this notion that they're going to transfer some knowledge, and they just keep getting worse. There's no knowledge to transfer at this point. There's nobody there to lead them. Adam Ernie, Gagne, like who's going to lead them?
I don't know.
Play the young guys. We want to see them. Stop pulling them in and out like a yo-yo. They all play really well when you put them in. Carolina versus Nashville Predators in overtime. This is a pretty close game. This is good. Nashville squeaks at a point. Carolina.
Yeah, it surprised me, I'll be honest with you. It was 2-0 Nashville. I don't know if you follow the game, but it was 2-0 Nashville. Benning, Hohenson score, second of the year for Hohenson. Forsberg, of course, you have a point. But really big game yesterday for Jordan Staal. I
quiet lately, but
it was very quiet. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like he find a way, and then Krachek score. He have 2 points again yesterday. He's like,
Vinny Krachek is awesome. What the heck?
But again, they scored a 2 goal on power play. But I want to mention Nashville have won the worst power. Like I watched the game against the Panthers, and I checked all the stats, and Nashville won the worst, Michael, on power play. They are on PK. They are terrible. Disorganized completely. It's very bad to see that. But again, at the end of the day, that's not give credit for the for the Hurricanes to score 2 goals on power play, and then Jordan Staal scored his second goal of the game. It's 10 of the year. Have a good year, the captain. Them. So is a team flying second over. At the end of the day, he's going to be Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Florida, and then after that, we'll see.
I thought Chicago, but I don't know. I think what was interesting to me last night was Dallas. Obviously, Florida pulls out a win in Columbus. I don't feel like Columbus is going anywhere, Pierre. I think that this is.
This was an amazing game. It was all about Sergei Popovsky yesterday. Columbus could beat them like 8-2. Popovsky was amazing yesterday. It was I don't know. He felt good to play in Columbus, but it was unbelievable yesterday. It was really the one they signed $10 million yesterday. At that point, it was Copricillo have an amazing that game. I believe, Michael, they have at least a minimum a 5 breakaway on both ways. Like Atkinson again on short-handed, and then you have Carter Van Vehe have 1, and at least 5 of them, and then they missed net. But at the end of the third period, I think the shot was like 12 or 15 versus 5. and Columbus was all over Pavelski, and he makes big save all game, and you know, overall Florida play a good game anyway. They find 4-2 and they score in a empty net at the end. But when you watch this game, I don't have a chance to watch. I don't know why, but I don't watch a lot of Columbus for some reason. I don't know. First, Montreal don't play against them, and secondly, Florida was only the third game. They started to play against them at the beginning of the year. So, but Patrick Laine and Max Domi, oof, ouch, ouch, ouch. I don't know. Oof.
Max Domi is very frustrating player. He's got all the skill, but his hockey, like his decision making, it's like he has too much trust in his skill, and he makes plays that aren't going to work. And he doesn't.
I don't know in English, I don't know in English even is this, but we said always. I said, is a player like a chicken with no head.
Yeah, runs around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah, that's why he is.
That is Max Domi. Like he's got all the tools, but he doesn't process the game.
No.
So it's really frustrating if you're on his line, I think.
Absolutely. He's not smart. He's not, what I mean? Laine try, you have an idea, 5 shot, on power play, he tried 2-3 times, 6 versus 5, 2 blasts on slap shot. But again, oh my God, I don't know, but I don't want to blame him, but he don't skate a lot. I mean, so he cheat a lot. You watch him like, oh my God. Oof. Something happening with him, with Patrick Laine. That's 7 game right now with no goal.
Wow, who's he playing with?
Is he
playing with Roslovic, or is he playing with Domi, or?
It's funny thing happening yesterday. Foligno missed a net. He missed the net. Mike Foligno, he could score like 2 goals yesterday. One, it was like an amazing pass from Atkinson to him. Like the Sergey was completely at the right, and he just shoot the puck. He shoot the puck like he just tips the puck 2 inches beside the net, but it was an empty net there. He played with Borgstrom. Is a Borgstrom?
Yeah, Oliver Borgstrom.
Yeah, he played with him.
He's a good player, and he's having a good year. Yeah. One thing about Laine that I remember, though, Pierre, and you probably remember this, is he does get very stressed out and frustrated when things aren't going perfectly. And it throws him off a little bit. And I don't – this is probably one of the things that's difficult to coach with him, because he gets really, like, down on himself, I feel. And then he gets really up on himself.
You know what? Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe it would be wrong on that one. But he looked like Phil Kessel fit.
That's what
he looked like.
That's terrible. I already don't like him now.
No, but honestly, it's a 2 player can score, and then you give them a puck, and they can put the puck in the net all day long. That's who they are. But defensively and the back checking and everything like that, they are not the best of in the business, to be honest with you. So so there'll be one of their one player struggle over there also with Tessier in French, but we have no points, and like he got one yesterday, but he's really struggled for Columbus.
Wow, yeah. I don't know. They're not going in the right direction. They're kind of not. They're hanging in there.
Yep. And then the last game of the night was Dallas versus Chicago. This was a blowout completely. Chicago completely get destroyed by the Dallas during the 1,000 game of Patrick Kane, 6-1. We talked about Dallas yesterday. You mentioned, but again, all right, they beat Chicago 6-1, but I want to see this for the next 5 games.
Well, I agree. So I think they showed us something, right? I think they showed us that they're capable of dominating a game still when they're all in. So they had Roope Hintz back in, Kiviranta was in, Pavelski gets on the board again. They looked Chicago, we know, has been playing very well. And they have a lot of games in hand, and we said this yesterday. They would have to play like 600 hockey to make the playoffs, and I think what they know that. So I think yesterday they kind of put their foot down, but to your point, now they got to do it again, and they got to do it again. They got to go on like a 5 or 6 game winning streak.
Exactly. That's what they have to do. And I just want to mention to you about that game, the rookie Robertson's got 4 assists.
4 assists, Pierre.
Yep. So
Jamie Benn got his 700th point.
Yep. And you know that another point here, 3 of the 6 goals are coming from the defenseman again.
I was going to say, because they got goals from Lindell, goals from Klingberg. Who was the other one? Oleksiak.
Yeah.
Right. So that I noticed that. So they're activating those D. It's really good if they start contributing offensively. I think they have a formula there, and they learned a lot in that playoff run. So that's why I kind of believe they can get back in the
only
picture.
concern me, it may be too late, but we'll see.
I don't think mathematically it's true because of the number of games they have in hand. But they have to do what they did last night, or at least win between now and catching up on the games in hand.
To do that is possible. Of course, everything possible. It's Chicago need to lose like 2, lose like 6, 7, 8 of the next 10 games, something like that.
Yeah,
because you cannot reach Florida anymore.
Possible. I mean, it is possible. I mean, how many games do they play head to head?
8.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. It's almost like playoff hockey, Pierre.
I just want to mention to you also, I check I'm on Twitter with all the people from different teams, but one stat, they said, watch out Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh, on the 20-some game they have 16 games to go against New Jersey and Buffalo.
Well, that is interesting, right? Sorry, I had to move here. Plug back in. That is interesting.
Yeah. Big step, big point here.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, tonight we have 5 games, I believe, tonight, or 6 games. I think it's 5.
Let's
1, 2, 3, 4. 5 games tonight, 7:00, Vegas and Minnesota. That's another back-to-back game.
Minnesota, oh my God, we get to see this matchup again, Pierre.
Yeah. Minnesota beat Vegas Monday 2-0. And again, goaltender Kakkonen. Is that Kakkonen? Yep. He's going to be back. He's already confirmed. Oh, wow. And that would be interesting about that one over there.
I'm actually excited to watch this series, Pierre. Like, I think it's been great.
Yeah. Now we'll see if Stone and Prodangelo is back in the lineup. That would be something to follow up today. But otherwise, would be interesting to see that.
I'll be right back, Pierre. I'll let you go through. I got to grab some.
Okay. So finishing the show without Michael so far. The second game of the night at 8:00, Ottawa versus Edmonton. Edmonton beat Ottawa Monday again 3-2. That's a very interesting to see Edmonton versus Ottawa. How Ottawa respond the last 10 game is amazing. They perform very well since the beginning of the year. Whatever they are, the last position, because they are the strong division. Without that strong division, I'm pretty sure Ottawa could get more win for sure. So it'll be interesting. Now, the third game of the night, 9:00, is Arizona versus Colorado. That's another match-to-match. They play Monday night. Arizona beat Colorado 3-2 in OT. Maybe not an OT. Yeah, I think so. That's Colorado is a little bit like what is Calgary and what is Dallas. 3 teams, they should be better, and we expect better of them. Of course, the injuries now. McKinnon should be back in the lineup tonight, and they play without Barron and also Makar, so that's another big problem over there. But but now Arizona lost their goaltender. That will be interesting how the Colorado is going to respond about that after that loss happening Monday night. Another game. This is Los Angeles again Anaheim. This is another Monday night game where Anaheim beat the Kings by a score 6-5 in OT. Anaheim was 5-3. King come back with 2 goals. We have a hat trick of Kempe for the Kings, and Anaheim is Raquel is on fire. 12 points the last 6 games. Honestly, it was great to see Anaheim score 6 goals. First of all, they are won the worst goal for the NHL was 31, I believe, and also it's great to they got 3 points the last 2 games on the possibility of 4. So Anaheim, we'll see how they're going to react against the Kings, where Kopitar also have a great run. Kopitar have 9 points the last 6 games, I believe. So that's the game start at 9:30, and finally the Montreal. And I don't know why. I would like to know why this game start at 11 o'clock. People don't thinking about the people in the Eastern. But they play against Vancouver tonight. Montreal lost 2-1 in OT against Vancouver Monday night. And again, it's now, Vancouver should not win that game, be honest with you. I feel bad for Carey Price. Have an amazing, great game. And, they played solid for 59 minutes. They dropped that goal at the end by Adam Gaudette, the 3rd of the year, on the 6-5 when it was an empty net for the Vancouver. And a great shot, to be honest with you. And then finally they score, and not in OT, I apologize. It wasn't shootout. It was that was the only goal in shootout. And that gave also for Montreal 0-7 in OT or shootout this year, 0 point, and they cannot win on that after the regular time. So that's another big problem for Montreal. Now they are, I believe, 11-6-7. And Vancouver now, they are 5th in the North Division. They just passed the Calgary. Now they are 6th. So will be interesting. That's a 5-6 game we have tonight on the program in NHL. So a 5 game on the program. So a very quiet night for me, honestly, to do this. So I'm going to be stream tonight, Montreal, for the first time. You can join us watching this if you want to. And that's conclude, I believe. Let me check other news around the NHL if I get something. Unfortunately, nobody was on the waiver list yesterday in the NHL, and nobody was there. Just give you what's going on around the league for. I get all those news at the last minute. Honestly, the waiver list for the NHL is at 12 o'clock. If we have a new player over there, so it'll be interesting if we have 1 or 2, or maybe not. And let's finish this part. I don't see anything about new news, everything like that at that moment. So I think it will be the end of the show. Not at all. I have nothing for you guys. Is it not boring? Right? Thanks again for watching us. We just want to remind you, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also on the Facebook page under Hockey Nation Live Show. We need you. We like when we have you here and interact with us and talking about hockey. And finally, if you follow us on the Facebook, on YouTube channel, you're going to get all the video we do every day. During the night, I'm doing at least 1 to 2 or 3, depends. I follow Panthers and Montreal. I do the preview post game for both teams. Plus, I'm doing my daily show at the end of the day, talking about every update we have on the injuries, milestone, waiver list, or signature, or hiring. Everything about we bring to you at the end. Of course, trade rumor we have also. So really. Great channel to know more about the NHL, and we invite you to sign up, to subscribe for sure. So thanks again for watching. We lost my co-host, Michael De Villano, and we look forward to see you next time tomorrow morning. We have a special guest for you guys, and then we're going to see you at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Have an amazing, great Wednesday, everybody.